Hey, Jantans and Jantanites, it's Jason Desmond from the Jantan Collective with another very interesting, but this time very timely discussion on what's up with that. This is where we question, we learn, and we grow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below because we love hearing from you. It might have been something that we talked about before that you might agree with, don't agree with, or it might be something that you feel strongly about and we haven't talked about it yet. Well, get in touch with us. We'll get right on it. Now, the thing is, though, I love stats, and the stats recently is a stat that we've been living. We've been seeing the numbers rise and fall on TV for the past year and a half. But after weeks of lockdown recently, reported COVID cases have not gone down. In fact, they've doubled. In fact, they've tripled. We're in the 5 figures of infection right now. That's scary zone, right? Now, the thing is, for me, I'm wondering how much longer can this go on? How much longer can our fellow man hold on before it breaks them and then they have nothing left, right? How can we help each other? Really, what's up with that? Now, there's a bunch of Malaysians who have come together and said, you know what? I think what we need is a better system to help our fellow Malaysians. And I think they've managed to do that. So let's get into this right now because, yes, it is a movement here. The white flag movement is a big deal. People are starving out there. And actually, in my other line of work, I've been, I don't know whether it's fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to actually see the direct impact of how this is because we've actually opened up our lines for people to actually help out. And the thing is, though, it's bad out there, right? So these 3 guys came together and then they said, you know what, let's do something about it. Instead of waiting for other people to do it, we shall do it ourselves. We are with Faiz Rahman, the business ops guy for Ma-Kasih. We have Lim Khai Xi, tech and Ma-Kasih co-founder, and also Peh Zheng Yan, or just Peh, tech and Ma-Kasih co-founder as well. Are you guys all the co-founders, or how did this actually start?
This started with Shen, who is a founder, but unfortunately she can't join us today.
Right.
She first pitched the idea to Zheng Yan and me. This basically started when I was reading about the white flag movement. I was in London actually for that day.
Right. So let me get this straight. Guys, you're not in Malaysia right now, right?
We're not in Malaysia. No, Faiz and I are both not in Malaysia.
Okay, so but you're in Bristol and Faiz, you're in
Oxford.
Oxford. Okay, cool. All right. So then it was pitched to you while you guys were still there.
Yep, it was pitched to us while we were there. And we started seeing a lot of social media stories about the white flag movement and how everyone was struggling. And these were really heartbreaking, touching stories for me personally. And I really wanted to do something, but I didn't know what to do. So Shen, our founder, who once again, unfortunately can't join us today, is she pitched this idea to me and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. It's a perfect fit of trying to use my skills to help Malaysia.
Okay. Zheng Yan or Peh, which one? How do you like to be referred to?
Peh will be shorter is my game alias also, so we will be shorter.
So you're also one of the co-founders. So who pitched this idea to you?
Also Shen.
All right. Also at the same time.
Our housekeeper, yeah, at the same time, basically.
Right, and then basically it was like, things are bad. But Peh, you're in Malaysia though.
Yes, KL.
All right, cool. So how do you guys know each other?
So as I was saying earlier, Khai Xi, Shen and I, we went to the same university together. So in Bristol, we had like this Malaysian society and that's how we all met.
Right.
I assume Shen knows Zheng Yan as well. So knowing Shen, knowing like, oh, okay, I need tech people for this project because it is inherently a tech project. Approach people for it.
Yeah.
And after that, they just kind of went, oh, I need such and such people. So then I started asking friends and that was how I was pulled in as well.
When you were pitched this idea, were you already aware that, was it during the white flag movement, before the white flag movement, or when things were starting to get bad?
So like things are getting bad, then we started to think of a way to maybe to push them this is where the food banks coming in, the idea of food banks coming in, the concept coming in. So we want to develop. So that's the beginning of the project.
Right. So it was already, the white flag movement had already started. Now, of course, there are multiple different kinds of flags out there, right? But now the thing is, tell us about Ma-Kasih. How does it work that 3 tech guys were pitched an idea to do this, and then now, because the white flag is essentially helping because there's no M40 anymore. Right? Everybody's it's one big B80 right now, right? And the rich are getting richer and whatever, like, but of course they deny that. But the thing is, right now, it's just one big B80, right? And people are struggling. People can't even afford to feed themselves, their families and everything. It's all over the news. And some people have been told not to help, which is very strange, but people can't feed themselves. So how does Ma-Kasih fit into this?
So Ma-Kasih, we have two types of users that we cater for. The first is people who need help. If you need help, you go to our website, fill in your details, and if not, well, we use a hand waving emoji, and the hand waving emoji will pop up to indicate your location and your details. And if you want to help, you would go to our site. The map will be sent to your location, and you'll be able to see people who need help living close to your local area.
Right.
That is how Ma-Kasih aims to help. We are like tech people trying to help a bunch of B80s. Personally, I see that there is a lot of tech when it comes to commercialization. So you have Grab, you have Amazon, all these big tech companies. But when it comes to like welfare, there isn't enough technological products.
Yeah, because there's no money in it, right?
Yeah, precisely, because there's no money there. So but for us, if there's a will, there's a way. We will try to make this happen. We will try to help people with technology as much as we can.
Right.
I'd like to just quickly add on to that, if I may. Our website, our platform, our service is essentially doing what's already currently happening back home. Like you can see people walking around, they look for white flags, and then they give them whatever they need, like food or whatever. It's doing all that, but just on a digital scale. It's just elevating that point so that more people can have access to it. We are not like coordinating things. We're just making the information more readily available so that it's easier. So if you're a helper, then you're more well informed to help the people around you.
So essentially, from what I understood because we've been doing some research on you guys, like it's essentially what used to be people walking around with maps and everything. You guys just waived the white flag movement and then made everything a lot easier and a lot clearer for people to see who needs what and who, if I can help, I can actually go and, because it's in my area, I can help out and everything. Essentially, is that how it works?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So it's a local-based service for tender for this Wi-Fi movement of things.
Okay.
So that can be more efficient to distribute the help on the communities.
So the name though, who came up with it?
There are some clever guy in our team that come up with this idea.
Yeah, the name itself, I think we went through quite a few stages. Like we're trying to figure out what kind of name do we give ourselves. Initially, we started out like Hope, which was what was it?
Hope Our People Express.
Yeah, we just wanted to fit something. But then after a while, we decided, no, we want something that really hits home with what we do. And like obviously like back home, like saying thank you is terima kasih. Like anything, something happens, if something good happens, if someone helps you, say thank you, you say terima kasih. And we wanted to use this as, okay, this is the basis of our platform. This is the basis of our people, is that we are now at a stage in our lives and in the stage of our country where the help that people are getting is solely based on the goodwill of the people. You just buy orang. You have to rely, you're kind of forced to kind of rely on it. That is what's bringing us together. It's like making a very strong community, which is why we use terima kasih. And someone suggested, let's make it a bit more like nicer. So maybe like Malaysia kasih. So, and then we said, let's just shorten terima kasih to terima to like Ma-Kasih, and that's pretty much where it came from.
Right.
We also had someone in our team who knows like Indonesian. He's just like, it's Ma-Kasih is actually like thank you in Indonesian. So it kind of backs us up on the idea.
It feels very warm. It feels very local, I suppose. And it doesn't matter where you are. It just feels local regardless of who you are and whatever it is, because everybody says terima kasih, right? So thing is, I'm always wondering, because I've helped out the homeless in KL. I've actually gone out to feed them and whatnot, and not on a regular basis, but whenever I had time, because I work very strange hours. But I've actually seen this happen, and people have always been in need for the longest time. And I did this like 20, 30 years ago, just helping people and whatnot. Of course, now it's a lot worse. And I've realized that it's never going to change regardless. What was it that made you? Of course, someone pitched the idea to you. I understand that, but what was it that broke your camel's back in a way where you go like, you're right. I've thought about it before, but I really need to do this right now because I think I see you actually mentioned that you want to help your fellow Malaysians, right? But why now?
Well, I think so in terms of volunteering experience, like helping less privileged kids in Malaysia, because I used to free tuition in a children's home.
Nice.
And that gave me a very different perspective into life of a child without parents, essentially. And that it's things like that always like for me, like I should be doing more. I should be doing more. And personally, I also have a younger Down syndrome sister. So I always thought that my field for helping Malaysians would be within Down syndrome. But so I guess for me, I always pushed back until when I started seeing the absolutely heartbreaking stories on social media about the white flag movement, and I think that was the essentially the straw, if you want to call it. Though technically, we shouldn't really have a straw, because if you want to help, we should just do it.
What about you, Faiz? What was your straw?
It's hard to really pinpoint it, I suppose. Like when I was still back home in Malaysia before I came to study, I also went out doing like late nights, but like in doing soup kitchens and everything.
Right.
I've probably been in a few.
So volunteering has always been part of it, lah.
Yes, it's always been a part of it. And when the pandemic hit in the UK, by this point I had not been back home in a while. When it started, I was in Bristol, and quite early on in the pandemic, people were like, okay, we need the NHS, so it's essentially the body which handles all the medical and stuff.
The National Health Service.
Yeah, that's right. The National Health Service were underfunded and didn't have a lot going on. Like they were getting sick. The doctors were like being exposed to all these things. And then a friend of mine came up to me and pitched the idea of like, let's try to help these people. So the idea was we start 3D printing like PPE. Like behind me, you can see like there are 2 3D printers there, and then there's
you got like a lab up there, man.
It's really my home lab. But anyway, so someone came up to me and said, we have 3D printers, let's do this. So we essentially made up this whole startup, which got quite a bit of attention. We started providing like PPE. Like we started with like 6 people, but we came up to like 100 people. So this went on for about like 6 months or so before I left Bristol. And then I'm no longer part of the solution. I can't really engage myself in a way. So I'm kind of left helpless. So when Khai Xi approached me and said that, hey, we need this, I'm like, yeah, I can help. Like I'm not involved in the tech team, not directly. I'm more on the making sure things happen, talking to you guys, talking to PR to get the word out. This is something that I can do that is within my abilities. So here I am.
All right.
As soon as the straw was hearing about it, because like you have all these pent up energies, like I want help.
But I think your straw, I think both you and Khai Xi, the straw's been it's been one long straw, right? Right, and it's just one straw after another. But Peh, what about you? You see, you're right in the thick of it here in Malaysia.
Yes, so I'm the local Malaysian in the team right now. I don't have a long straw like Faiz did. What I do is I just worry about Malaysian, because of I do have, when they speak, the social is the one who speaks to me about this idea. I do have experience before that is working in e-commerce platform that is dedicated for delivering to locations that is like suburban. There is no incentive for deliver to those suburban or rural areas.
Right.
And I think that there are a lot of Malaysia got a lot of fee for this class of citizens, but they can't really get access to our facilities, as in they don't have a platform or whatever service to maybe for help them or to support this service to we have them. There are angkasan who do this kind of to pushing this how to say economical policy to make more incentive of delivery to this rural area. But I think that during this pandemic, right, there is the welfare service must be blooming after this, right? So I was thinking like using my technologies or using my expertise can help Malaysia, then why not? Especially during this hardship, during this hardest moment. I think that this is my time, and then I click to it. Yeah.
Where you live, right? Do you see any white flags flying?
Yes, we do on the apartment side of it.
Now let's talk about the service itself, the platform. It's a website, essentially. Is it an app? Are you guys going to be? So how does the platform work?
So it is a web app. So you don't need to install an app. Yeah, you can access it by QR code or whatever means by just typing our URL makasih.care and you can get it. What we are trying to do is we try to more inclusive and then more accessible to those people, so they don't need to teach them to install stuff. I met this kind of person before. We don't track for your Google logins or you Facebook logins. We just let you to quickly I need help button. There's a panic button, very significant.
Right.
That's it. Then you can just raise your hand for help.
So it's essentially just a scan of a QR code, and but it's basically a website address, all right, that goes straight to you guys.
Correct.
All right. So what needs to be put in? I mean, what details do they need to prove that they are struggling? I suppose. How does that work?
We didn't actually prove that it is struggling or what, and we don't even keep track of the name of it. So we need to keep things anonymous, keep them anonymous, and then they can raise the help. No matter
who's anonymous, the ones being helped or the ones who are helping?
Who need help.
Right.
Those who need help just need to raise your hand on this thing. But for the volunteer side, if you want to help or you want to access to the map service, you can just log in to do this thing.
All right.
So we can do verification on the one who wants to help.
Okay.
If you need help, just need to sign in.
Yeah, just to emphasize here that the people who need help, there's not much of an obstacle or barrier when it comes to asking for help. We want to make it as straightforward and as simple as possible for someone to say, hey, I need help. And literally it's just a form. Where I am, what I need, what I'm currently going to, boom, it's on the map. For our end with the volunteers on we do need some kind of registration to just be able to keep track of where everything is going on.
So explain to volunteers, what do they do?
So a volunteer's user journey would be when they go into the website, the map will be centralized to their location, and there will be a list on the site showing the closest households that need help, and the list will be sorted by range. We also have optional filters for 10 km, 20 km. Well, I guess depending on the rules of the EMCO at the time.
Right.
And so they will click. They can find a particular household. So we don't release any names. That's what Zheng Yan meant by we keeping them anonymous. But we have put their phone number up, so they can contact their phone number, talk to them, see if they need any help, any particular things that they need, and they can buy some stuff and deliver to the particular household.
All right, cool. So the volunteers are the people who actually want to help out of the goodness of their own heart and also out of their own pocket, right? Basically.
Yeah.
When you say anonymous, no one knows what's happening behind the scenes, right? So family needs help, volunteer finds it on the app, on the service, goes over and just gives them the food, right? How do you know that transaction has already occurred?
Yeah, so we in our MVP we don't have a way of tracking. However, in the future, we are thinking of building out functionality where you can indicate that you have supported a particular household, and I guess we haven't really fleshed this out yet in terms of what sort of things, what sort of if we even need any sort of verification for that. But yeah, this is primarily a knowledge sharing website. We have the information. We want to share knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not policing people. Be like, you said you help already. We can't.
No, but I'm just wondering, like,
yeah.
what? Because I always worry, like, okay, so this family, it's like e-hailing services, right? So let's say I ask for a pickup. Back in the day, the old radio taxis, like, I'd have multiple cabs coming at me and everything. I'm like, who wants it and everything? So how do you know that this house, let's say I want to provide help for this already, right? And then someone else comes over and then does the same thing, and then another one. So it's like this household has like 3 different people providing essentials to this family already. How do you manage that?
So once again, not in our MVP, but
for now.
For now, yes.
Yeah.
We do intend to indicate how many people have supported a particular household. And the idea for this is that we want to be able to show to the user, which is the volunteer, which household needs more help. So maybe some houses are placed in a very strategic location, and other houses, more rural houses, they're a bit far out of the way. So we would definitely like a way to show that. Once again, I would like to reemphasize that we are not a logistical company. We don't assign volunteer. You go here, you go here. We are a knowledge sharing site. So our purpose is to share as much knowledge as possible.
So you're basically just saying, here's a map. If you're near, go help, basically, right?
Yeah. Effectively, again, just re-emphasizing what I was saying earlier, it is literally doing what people are doing right now.
Yeah.
Like if you walk around, you see a white flag, you want to help, you help. The only difference is now you actually can see these people need such and such things. They need beras, they need meat or whatever.
Yeah.
You go now.
And actually, it's great. It's that you can actually see it from a bird's eye view, right? But I'm also wondering how, like, it's like how the numbers are showing right now, right? You see the numbers are like 12,000, 13,000, 9,000, whatever it is, right? And I always hear the murmurs going, actually, the numbers are worse. Actually, the numbers are higher. So what I'm trying to get at with you guys is like, whenever you have someone calling up to say, we need some help in your service, in the app, in the service as well, right? Do you think there are actually more people who actually need help, but they just like, very malu to actually want to seek help and everything? Because I'm not out of money and out of food already yet, but I'm close to it, but I'm so shy to do it. Do you think that's what's going on with Malaysians right now?
Yes, definitely. Because like in my close social circle, there are quite a few of them are actually something like this has seen. They are entrepreneur and all these things. They are in cash type kind of situation.
Yeah,
because I think that there is a lot. So we don't actually keep names or photos for them to like screen. You need to take a photo of your home to show that you are really poor and all this. We don't. So we just you don't need to put name like Abdul or Peh or something. Put on your name, no need. So we just put a phone number and how many adults, how many infants, so that your dietary preference and all this.
Actually, you touched on something over there, Peh, because I've heard my friends actually say, okay, not friends, acquaintances say, like sometimes with the white flag and everything, and then because the news covers it, and then it's all over social media, and people are going over to help, and then you get all these politicians who are also eager to help out because it's great publicity for them in a way. Of course, they want to help, but then it's also publicity. And then you see the picture online, and then you go, hey, that fella lives in a nice house. Why is he asking for help? But you're right, because some of these could be entrepreneurs who are cash tight right now. They have nothing left. Doesn't mean that they have a house. They can sell the house and then they can get the money. No one wants to buy a house right now. So it's just tight right now. So is that your mission also to avoid all of that so that people just won't? Because you know how netizens are. You know?
I know.
You know, they will troll everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever worry that people are gonna troll the people that are helping you out? Like somehow one of the volunteers takes a picture and then puts it up online. Do you worry about that?
I mean, it's a definite possibility. Like there are a few similar kind of services doing like a similar thing. We do see like these comments coming and be like, people are just trolling. And this is not something that we can control. we are running on the goodwill of the people. Like it's like lantak kala if you wanna help or if you wanna post.
But is it a rule for you guys that if you're gonna help out under our service, please don't post anything online? Do you put any guidelines like that? Because it says anonymous, right? Would that be something that you want to consider?
Potentially. To be honest, that has not crossed our mind at the moment.
Because I live in the social media world, right?
Very good point.
Yeah. Because I live. Because you can't control what people post online, right? Unfortunately. But then if there's like some kind of guidelines, like, hey, we want you to help, but don't be a politician, and you know what I mean, and then do it, and then I'm here to help. Smile. I hate those sorts of helping. If you're gonna help, just help, right? So, but how do you guys compare with other initiatives out there? Because there's the Yayasan Food Bank, there's the Lost Food Project, there's the people helping other people in the PPRs, there are people helping out the homeless on the street and everything. How do you guys compare with that? Do you guys see yourself as just a tech company or a tech NGO, or a white flag movement kind of thing?
Well, I think we primarily see ourselves more as a tech, not company, NGO, because
NGO,
a non-profit. Although in the future we're not opposed to collaborating with large NGOs in Malaysia. Essentially, people that have a large army of volunteers, they would probably find something like this quite useful to integrate. So let's say I'm a nationwide NGO and I have a list of locations of people who need help. I'll just give this out to my volunteers, updated real time. I think that's a very good thing.
Right.
So yeah, we're not opposed to collaborating with others. We just started on the 30th of June actually, which is slightly over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's still very new. After launch, we're gonna figure out our footing in a sense. But yeah, at the moment we are just focused on our launch.
I would love to get your thoughts on this, and I suppose Faiz and Ma-Kasih, you guys are not in the country, so you guys can say a little bit more. Peh, because you're here, they could get you, but I just want to get your thoughts on this, all right? Because the Prime Minister has come out and said that there's really no need to help the people. I remember when the white flag movement started, there was some faction that was saying it's very demeaning because it looks like you're giving up. Times are tough. There's nothing else to do, right? So
yes,
some people are saying that the government is already helping them. Why should people help out as well? What do you think about this?
Well, I can start. So I think no matter what government, even the best governments, will have people who need help, right? People will always be, so there will always be people who require additional aid from other people, and that is where we step in, regardless of how well your government is doing. That is our primary goal, to enable people who want to help an easier platform and easier access to help other people. Not sure if Faiz has other thoughts.
Just pretty much to add to that, really, like the fact that the white flag movement or the Bendera Putih initiative, the fact that it's here is a sign of help. Like it's literally people asking for help. And as human beings, especially like for us as Malaysians towards fellow Malaysians, we want to help. Like regardless of whether or not you say, I don't help them, they'll be all right. You want to, because that is all it is that innate human nature to want to provide. Like so long someone needs help, we want to help them. And that is the whole basis of what we're trying to do.
The flag thing, right? People, when they put on the flag, right, that means that they are desperate for help, no matter what color it is. It's not about political thing, and it's not about whatever reasons and all this. I don't see that because they need help, we are not allowed to help people at this moment, especially. So we as a platform, or we as an NGO, we need to protect ourselves, right? I want to make things political, but yeah, this white flag movement is actually the fact that people need help, no matter anyone else says that. Yeah. So we are just a platform to help to care, actually care the Malaysians
Yeah.
community.
Actually, you know what? I don't really know, and nobody really can confirm who really started the white flag movement, because there are some people who said that the white flag movement started out as a political ploy, as a political movement and everything. I don't really know. Like taking the one knee in sports, you know exactly where it started, right? But this one, I'm like, I don't really know. But basically, what I've seen in some reports, in some articles, and what some people are saying, and I kind of agree in some ways, because they actually made reference to the homeless in KL, and they said, like, you know what, if you keep feeding them, at some point they will realize that, hey, I don't need to work, I will always have someone to feed me. Sure, it's not the best way to live, but there are levels that we are prepared to get to just in order for us to survive, right? But then, hey, if I get my 2 meals a day, I don't need to work. So I get what they're saying, that you're breeding a group or entire society who's just living on handouts in a way. I get that. I get that part of it as well. But do you think that right now it's not the case? People are really desperate, and then they do want to get back on their feet, they do want to get jobs. Do you think it's the white flag is not just about getting handouts?
Yeah, it's the whole point of it is that right now people literally can't support themselves. These are families who have been running businesses, small businesses, kerja, like simple, like honest living kind of work, and they can't do that anymore. They don't have the ability to do that anymore, which is why this whole white flag movement started. Our purpose here as a platform, we don't discriminate between who wants help. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason why we don't care for someone registering.
The moment you say you need help,
we come now.
Right, exactly,
this is what it is. You know, you put yourself on the map, and that's what it is. We do believe that this is an in-between, like regardless of what the government is saying about like they don't need help, whatever. We are doing our part to try to make this very difficult transition as easy as possible for people. Like, so long EMCO exists, so long COVID is rampant, so long people are dying, people are suffering, we need to do what we can, regardless of what comes after.
Yeah, because it's not people don't want to work.
Yeah,
they cannot
they literally
work.
Can't.
Because you shut down industries where they cannot go. There's no tourism. There's no entertainment. Like I've got friends who are actors and script writers and producers who are struggling because there's just no work. Do you guys watch football? Are you guys football fans?
Not really, but I watch the Euros.
Okay, so let me see whether you agree with this. Right now, it's kind of like living on your own, getting by on your own 2 feet. It's kind of like if I played a football match and a team scores a goal and they win because they scored a goal, it's legit. But right now, the team is either winning or losing. In this case, we're all losing, right? The team is losing because the referee decided to, in the 90th minute, decided to red card 3 or 4 players, send them off. And then the team has to play with basically hands tied behind their backs, and then go and try and play, right? I hate it when referees dictate the result of a match. Do you think that's how it is right now? Because it's not that they don't want to work. People want to work, but they can't, right? Would you agree to this?
I'll be honest. I've never heard an anecdote or analogy like that before, but I quite like it. It is I think quite an apt description of what's going on, because people literally hands are tied. You can't do anything. You're crippled in the sense that I can barely walk on my own 2 feet, and especially if you're carrying your family with you, like let's say you're the sole money bringer to the house, like you're the breadwinner of the family, and you tak boleh kerja kan. What are you gonna do? Like your kids are starving, your family, you know, like you are. We've come so far along this whole pandemic journey. We've reached this point in everyone's lives where it's just like I can't do anything.
But on that though, on my little referee football thing, right? And I would love for you to be as honest as possible, all right? What do you think of the government's handling of this pandemic?
I think a lot of governments, the pandemic was new. It was something totally new for a lot of governments. And the UK, for example, they screwed up like multiple times as well. They released and then they had a lot of initiatives which and currently, personally, I even can't disagree. I can't agree with the latest lifting of the lockdowns. So I think it's tough. Like, you know, as citizens, we can always complain. That is our right in a democracy. But I think in terms of handling, there's always it's a very difficult choice. I personally wouldn't say that I know enough to criticize the handling. But yeah.
Because it's on hindsight, everything's easy to manage, isn't it? Right? Again, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that, right? But Faiz, what do you think?
I think if there's, I mean, we've obviously learned quite a bit from the whole pandemic, but if there's one thing that has been clear, regardless of whichever country you're in, like in the UK, Malaysia, whatever, is that governments don't really know what they're doing. Like nobody has a clue on what's the best way to kind of deal with the situation. Like obviously, like New Zealand, they're doing great, but like everyone else, everyone's still struggling, still trying to find essentially the silver bullet that will solve it all. It's quite hard to manage because, for one thing, government, they have to lead it, right? They have to make things readily available. They need to be stable enough to do what they want to do, to make sure people are safe. And it's quite clear that it's not easy to do that. Like you have to take into account a lot of things and all that. The fact that this is happening now has proven that it's not fantastic. You know, like I think ultimately it falls down to us as people, as the community, to kind of step up and do something about it, which is why we're here now. Regardless of what the government is doing, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna need to do what I can.
You can't control that anyways, right?
You can't control that. Like if as soon as they take the stick out of your hand, you're like, okay, I got my hands, I got my fingers, I got my feet. I can still use that, which is why we're here now.
Peh? Be careful, like you're living here.
Yes.
Just saying, like, right? Yeah.
I'm living in the Kuala Lumpur, but it's okay for me. Personally, I think that it can be better for the administration for handling this pandemic can be better. And one of the major issues that the government is not doing well is because of the rules and the execution. The execution is rough. The plan is well. I mean, like you can see from like last year, you can see the pandemic is dropping until 0 local case already. And now 1 year later, you can see we are still rising. So the case of the new cases rising, the number of new cases rising.
I remember there's I had a Facebook memory from a year ago. 0 cases. I was like, wow, I remember those days, man. Then after that, now, what are we at? 13,000? I'm like,
yes. I think the execution part is rough and the administration is loose based on what I see, because people are afraid of police or any enforcement, because they don't know what they are doing, as in the district or daerah management, how do we go, and things are every day changing and all these things. So
to be honest, I don't envy. I wouldn't want to be in government right now managing this pandemic, because nothing you do is right. So do you guys see an end to this? Do you at some point, because you are gonna be, I'm an old guy already right now. I'm just hoping to have a nice retirement at some point already. You guys are at the forefront of changing things in the world. You guys are the leaders of the world now. Do you see an end to this?
I would say yes. Like as cherry topped as that sounds, you know, like as how idyllic, there is an end to it. I personally believe, primarily because I've seen it. I've seen things getting better. I've seen things getting better here. Like people are getting vaccinated, things are proceeding, people are getting more safe. And the fact that we have all these things coming out, like people are actually stepping out to try to help people, regardless of whatever political agenda they have or anything. People are going out of their way to help people. And it's great because it does imbue the sense of unity between the people. Like it'll be tough. Like people are suffering. There's no lie about that. And it probably will be bad for a while. And even post-pandemic, how are we going to recover from this situation?
It's gonna take a while, man.
And it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. Like any kind of like small businesses that have shut down over the pandemic. If they want to restart, like that's a whole nother thing. Like it'll be tough. I think it will be okay eventually. It will stabilize because the people are doing what they can. People are acting. People are doing things.
Yeah.
Like government or otherwise, it's proceeding. Like it is progressing, and it will eventually, stabilize. I hope.
When things go back to whatever normal is, right? I don't even know what normal is. What happens to Ma-Kasih? Are you guys going to continue this?
Yes, we will. As in, after this pandemic, right, things are going on normal. And whatever you mean going normal, there are still people who need help. The economy still need some stimulate to actually pump the machines going and all these things. So maybe we can try on like finding jobs or something. There are people who need help definitely. As in, after that, there are a lot of welfare and well-beings will rising up. So we also think of that after it.
Where the whole idea and philosophy behind Ma-Kasih is to help people. Like post-pandemic, if people still need help, then Ma-Kasih will still be there. Like in what form it'll be, that only time can tell, I suppose. But the idea is to keep it going.
Right.
We have no visions of grandeur yet. It's just kind of like we deal with it as we come.
Who knows? At one point, it might be you guys might become a portal to help people even get jobs because they have essentials, but after that they need to move on. They need to get jobs again, and then again, I don't know. Is that something that you might consider, Khai Xi?
Yeah, that's actually we did consider that intangible aid. So things like jobs or even like psychological advice or
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Or even like financial accountant advice, advice to budget, to manage your finances, things like that. We are thinking down the line of how do we display intangible aid being required, and because not eventually, hopefully we'll move out of the everyone needs food stage.
Yeah. Number one, I just got to say I love what you guys are doing, and I love the planning ahead. And Khai Xi actually mentioned about something that's kind of close to my heart. I have a lot of friends who are going through some pretty tough mental times right now. Connecting them with therapy, maybe. I could be a psychologist, and hey, someone needs my help there within my area, I can go and help. Right, that's a great idea. But right now, it's tough. Right now, it's white flag time. People need food, need essentials. Right now, any advice to Malaysians really struggling, not just struggling, I think they're suffering out there. Any advice to Malaysians? Let's start with Peh.
Just take care of yourself, wear rubber mask, and this thing. Other than this,
or just a message to Malaysians out there who are struggling.
I think keep strong, and then things will going to be better.
Yeah. Glass half full. I like that. Khai Xi?
So I just watched Loki yesterday, and my first thought is that we are in the worst timeline.
No spoiler, please.
No spoilers, no worries.
I haven't even started Loki. Thanks, guys. See, so I'm like, okay, cool. That kind of messed it up for me. All right. Okay, bye. Okay, no, seriously. Yeah. So
yeah, I'm trying to believe in the goodwill of people. A lot of people would like to help. Ask for help if you really can't if you really can't hang in there anymore. And I guess like the recurring message is hang in there.
Don't be shy, right? Because this is not the time to be shy.
Yeah,
this is not the time to worry about what your neighbors are thinking about, your friends are thinking about you. This is a time for you to get some help and get back on your feet, right? Faiz, what about you?
For me, it's a difficult one. Like because I'm just imagining like if someone who is in trouble and they see me saying take care, like get message. I don't know how I feel entirely, just because like I am in a privileged position of being
correct. It's hard, right? Yeah,
it's hard. Like can you look someone in the eye who is suffering and tell them that things will be getting better? It's quite difficult.
Yeah,
but I think I am a person who believes in tangible things. We can see that people are actually going on helping people. Like the idea of goodwill is not gone, Like in the era we used to live in pre-pandemic, Like, it's quite easy to ignore what's going on around you because you're quite self-focused. The fact that the pandemic has hit us hard, the fact that it's gotten so bad for a lot of people, it's tough, it's terrible stuff. But something that we have seen out of it is that people are genuinely deep down are nice people, are like, they care for the people around them, and this is something that I enjoy seeing. It's quite heartwarming to see all of it. I don't really know if I have a clear message to send out to the people. Only to look after yourself, look after those around you, and help out wherever you can. And if you can't, then ask for it. Yeah, things will be getting better. I know I'm just contradicting myself, but the fact that we are seeing people going out there and doing things is proof of the fact that regardless of what we're doing as a platform, the Malaysian people are doing it. The Rakyat, they're actually standing up there and going out to do things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be okay.
Don't lose hope, basically, right?
Don't lose hope. No. It's gonna happen.
Okay, right now though, we always do this. We would love to get your thoughts on, because it is the Jantan Collective. So we would love to get your thoughts on this. It might be from your background as techies, as the builder of Terminators. It might be from your background as having worked in the service of those who are less fortunate as well. So we just want to get your thoughts on this. When it comes to Jantans, and we're all Jantans, right? We're men, we're boys, we're husbands, we're single men, whatever it is, but at the end of it all, we're all Jantans. Any advice for Jantans? Because the whole point of the Jantan Collective is for men to be better versions of themselves. So from guys who are doing so much for society right now, any advice for Jantans out there?
No, first of all, I'd like to say that I wasn't really aware of your collective until you guys approached us. It's like, oh, that's a really cool thing. And I read up on what you guys are doing, which I find really cool. If there's anything I'd like to say to like anyone who's in this position, like where they're looking to improve themselves and make themselves better, just like better people, better Jantans in general. Like, first thing is probably find your sense of self, find out what's important to you. Like, it's all well and good to tell someone to go become better, but it's hard. I think the hardest and probably the first step is to find out what's important. Like, once you found that sense of self, like what is your temple, what is your core main value, like what you want to protect, what you want to like make yourself better for, then it's a bit easier moving forward, because then it's just, okay, I need to do that. What's the next step? That'll be the first thing. And then I think probably surround yourself with people who are of the similar mindset, people who want to improve, people who would big you up rather than put you down.
I would like to add in that it's important to overcome the barrier of asking for help. So the traditional male figure, which is the strong man of the family figure, is a figure that doesn't ask for help, suppresses any emotional trauma, any emotional issues. I think that is something that isn't healthy. That isn't very healthy in the long run. Try not to like. I would ask each and every one of the Jantans that's watching this to be open to asking for help. Don't view psychological help negatively, because I know there's still some barrier for that. But yeah, like, we are not perfect, and we need help to become better versions of ourselves.
Here's a guy who just spoiled Loki for us, and then he just says that. That's brilliant. Okay, very deep.
It's okay.
Okay, Peh.
Okay, so to be a better version of Jantan, right? I think one of the things that need to improve is that like management and accountability for your own responsible. I think that is one of the things. Being responsible is one thing. Being holding your accountability is one thing. I think that the accountability is a thing that you need to practice as in your person. You need to work on to something. Yeah. So basically, you hold on to some promise you make or something. That is the thing that you want to make it happen and make it doing it well. That is the thing I want to share to all Jantans.
Yeah. That's great. Peh, you don't muck around. You just get straight to the point. I love it. Like no sugarcoating anything, because you're right. Men don't. Yeah, We're not responsible in many cases. So, okay, I'll tell you what, Peh, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing Jantans today, though?
Also the responsible, because most of the, I mean, for Southeast Asian, right, still the pillar of the family is also the man, the Jantan, who win breads and rice, bread and paras and all these things.
Yeah.
And then they got no work, and then don't give up. As in, there are probably some entrepreneur friends that are like shame to do Grab driver. Don't be ashamed. Just do it, and then do whatever it means to not churi. I mean, not churi. Just do work, and then everything that can serve your purpose, then just do it. And then
with the burden of responsibility, unfortunately, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like Khai Xi share, you can just ask for help. I think there are very much more people who are willing to help you also.
Yeah. I think that is a big challenge. I just never realized it. Actually, there's a lot of burden on men to do manly things. I agree. What about you guys? Biggest challenge facing Jantans today?
Well, I think Zheng Yan covered my point. I still agree that asking for help, especially among the older males, is a very big obstacle, a mental barrier. I've witnessed that as well many times. But yeah, like I really hope that that we can normalize the nature of men asking for help.
Faiz.
I have to follow up on that. But no, it's my points were is essentially the same, in the sense that the situation that Jantans are facing right now, it all comes from whatever preconceived notion of what a man is. Like it's popular everywhere, like social media, like pop culture, like movies, old tales. Everything is all the same. It's like detailing what a man should be, and it's quite toxic. It's not great for you, especially if that's not something you want to do. And if it is something you want to do, then like also that's good too. But like you have to normalize. I quite like the word normalize. Guys, is normalize the idea of the fact that you can ask for help. That you are allowed to be weak. You don't have to be strong all the time. There are times where you are allowed to say, I just want to chill day. I do need help.
So for those of you who are watching this and you know someone who is struggling right now and they're a bit shy to put up the white flag, they still will, but you know that they're in trouble, go and help them, or use the Ma-Kasih service. So how do people get help on Ma-Kasih, guys? If one of you guys can actually just be super clear about with the website and also how they can actually get in again.
If you go into the website, there will be a landing page which redirects you to a form. If you need help, fill in your details, submit it, and once you get a confirmation page, you're good to go. Sit tight, hang in there, wait for people to contact you. If you want to find other people to help, once again, we have a map that shows you the closest households to your location. So contact them, give them a call, see what they need, and try and help to the best of your abilities. Yep.
Guys, don't ever stop what you're doing. I know you're gonna, Faiz is gonna still build its Terminators and everything, but guys, I mean, when it comes to the NGO, just stick to this, because we need guys like you. We need Ma-Kasih. The more, regardless of what people say about handouts and everything, the more of you there are, that's how we're going to progress as a society. So thank you very much for having a chat with us.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Thank you too.
Yeah, huge thank you to you guys for having us. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed the discussion that we had with Ma-Kasih, and just want to know, what new thing did you learn from the discussion? And did we miss anything that you would like to know? Get in touch with us in the comments below, and we're going to get right on it. But thank you so much for watching. Go check out this service. It's a great way to help your fellow man. Your fellow man needs your help right now. And be a great Jantan. Be a very, very, very good Jantan, and that's all we can expect from you, because ultimately, we want you to be good people. And of course, remember, don't be a dick.